Hey, yes, good evening, world. This is Brad, VK2 NMZ for the Central Coast Amateur Radio Club 2 Metre Weekly Net. We'll be your host for this evening. Okay, for the listeners out there, we are streaming this on social media. You can come through and you'll be able to find this on the Tube of Views or the Book of Faces. This net is held every Thursday night, kicking off at 8 p.m. on the VK2 RAG repeater. Unfortunately, at the moment, Echo Link and IRLP services are not available, which is unfortunate, but I am told and I have read that it is incredibly close. So we will eventually go through and get there. For any of the shortwave listeners out there, you can come through and reach me through the CCARC Netmaster mailbox, which is netmaster@ccarc.org.au. So this net normally comes through and consists of 3 rounds. So we'll kick this off for the evening and we'll make our first call out. If there is anybody out there that did wish to go through and join the 2 metre net tonight, please go ahead. VK2 KFU, Dave, VK2 NMZ, good evening there. I hope you're well. We'll go through and we'll just do another call out to see if there are any other kids there that wish to join in on the games tonight. Please go ahead.
VK2 FALD. VK2 AAE, I will be listen only. I say again, I'll be listen only, and I will not join in. Good evening to everyone, and thanks for running the net, Brad.
Alrighty, acknowledged there. We have VK2 FALD and there's VK2 AAE who is there as listen only. Alrighty, anyone else out there tonight?
It's in myself.
VK2 Mike Golf Allen, acknowledged, mate. Hello there. Alright, so see if there's... And we'll do a last call out before we go through and kick this off. Anyone else out there, please go ahead.
VK2 HDZ.
And acknowledged VK2 HDZ, evening there. Alrighty, I think we have enough numbers here to kick this off. So let's head back up we'll go up to the top of the list today. VK2 KFU, VK2 NMZ. Mate, go ahead. Alrighty, leave that, mate. Sorry, David, that's all good there, mate. So hopefully we'll get a few more people around. Okay, let's head down there to Lee, VK2 FALD, VK2 NMZ. Okay, that's not a problem at all. You are still coming off and you are still making it through you've been called off for noms. So mate, that's all good. Thank you so much for dropping in and saying hello. It is most definitely appreciated. Alrighty, so let's head down. We'll go down to Alan, VK2, Mike Golf, VK2, NMZ.
VK2RAG, Timothy.
I thought there was someone before me, but okay, I'll go ahead. Yeah, you probably saw from the photos, Mike, I had a good Saturday out, even though it started a bit wet. It was John Moyle, ended up with 142 points. I had a bit of play with Linear as well, along my new Anderson connector. I just out about 2Ks from the club down where we rode a bit. It was a lovely spot. And we had yourself, Brad, and Bob came out and had a look around. As we're packing up, 20 metres is seriously opening up to Europe. I think I've got to do one more activation of Brisbane Water, and I think that's where I'm going to do it from. So yeah, that's a lovely spot. There was a poster linked last week about somebody was 3D printing up some plugs to go on back of 817s, 818s and the like for Anderson connectors. Mine showed up in the mail today. I'm actually using it right now. So I'm just going to make up a slightly lower power cable. I'm using the 25 cable to plug in at the moment because I haven't got anything else. Yeah, nothing much else. I had a couple of days in Brisbane this week, come back last night, and yeah, I only just brought the radio in about an hour ago. VK2 NMZ and the Central Coast Net, VK2MG.
VK2MG, VK2 NMZ. Alrighty, that is all good. I'm glad you went through and got it. I was going through and I was looking at it, and it did look like a quality piece of kit to go on the back of the 817 and 818s. Quite handy. That's fantastic. Well, I hope you had a decent time in Brizzy, even if it was a couple of days. Okie dokie. So we'll go through. I'll just before we head on down the list to Ian, I'll just do a couple of quick call outs for the media of socials. We've got Jesse WH6AV. Aloha. Hello there, Jesse. Thank you so much for dropping in. It is fantastic to be able to see the reach that we've got. We have Jason, VK2FT from Spent a lot of time out there in Kooragang on Sunday afternoons in my car. It was quite fun. We have Ken, VK4AKH. Al comes through and says, hello all. And Jesse is aloha from Maui in Hawaii. That is fantastic. Thank you so much. Okay, now we did have an email there from Al as well, which comes through and says, hi Brad and all on the net, still listening. Not a lot to say. Still hearing the FM sats and a bit on 40 meters. Thanks for the net, Brad. Cheers to all. Al. Happy days, Al. Thank you very much for that. It is definitely greatly appreciated. So once again, we are streaming this on the Book of Faces and through YouTube. So if you did want to go through and give this a like and a share or something like that, that would be all kinds of awesome and greatly appreciated. For Jesse's question of All-Star, no, we don't have All-Star yet. We do have Echolink NIRLP, which is basically in the final stages of testing. There are just a couple of bugs which we need to go through and work out before it does go live. So I'm hoping that once it is live, this will come through and make the nets a lot more interactive. But as I mentioned before in the comments there, Jesse, after the net, I'm happy to go. I can go through and I can find my MMDVM up, and we might be able to have a quick chat on DMR. Alrighty, we'll go through and move down there to Ian, VK2 HDZ, VK2 NMZ. Go ahead, mate.
VK2 NMZ in the group, VK2 HDZ. Not a lot this week, just at the moment building up a 9-to-1 balance for a long wire QRP I'm trying to set up.
Alrighty, that's fair call. So you said it was a 9-to-1 balun for, what was it again, sorry?
Should be really for Anand, but it's for a long wire QRP setup I'm trying to get running.
Oh, mate, fantastic. I know Jay, VK2FOMG, he has a QRP long wire antenna setup which does have a 9-to-1 on there. So I suppose that could be handy. Go through and reach out to him if you need to go through and have a look at what his one has to see if you can go off and make yours work. Alrighty, so we are at the bottom of the list. I'll just go through and we'll just do a quick call out there to see if there was anybody else there tonight that did wish to go through and check in on the net. This is Brad, VK2 NMZ for the Central Coast Amateur Radio Club. If there was anyone out there that did wish to go through and drop in, make a call out now. Okay, there was no one. All right, now just one quick thing for Jessie so she can go through and see is here is my hotspot, which I will go through and power up shortly, and I might need to program the radio for 31158 Z.
Well, it seems to be a brief implement. Perhaps I'll get a better thinking. Just a mention of the work at Summersby on Saturday. I hope to have a full report. Next business meeting will be on April the 6th. And there'll be a bunch of things subject to my requirements that are brought along if anybody wants to pick their way through them. It's also Waltzing Matilda Day, so perhaps members could dress accordingly. Following day could be interesting if anyone has a GPS receiver, because that's the GPS rollover time. They should work, but older ones may not. And because of Easter, there will not be a lecture on April the 20th. No, so it's just a highlight. VK2 and having a good VK2 curfew.
VK2 KFU, VK2 NMZ. Fantastic, Dave. I'm sure we'll go through and we'll write out a bit of a report of what went on. For anybody else there earlier on in the week, if you weren't aware, there was a bit of an outage of the repeater site up at Summersby due to basically for a bit of history, predominantly the site is ran off solar. And unfortunately, due to the inclement weather that did go through and happen, is the 50-volt rail battery bank did go through and became depleted, and that took the 2 and 70 centimeter repeater offline for a short time. But it did go through, and it was restored in the morning. That's about it from there. Okay, so let's see. We've done Dave. Lee's gone. AEE is gone. We're back down to Alan. Wow, this is going to be incredibly fast. Let's do a quick call out and just see if there was anybody else here that did wish to go through and join in tonight. So this is Brad, VK2 NMZ for the Central Coast Amateur Radio Club. If there was anyone that did wish to make a call out, please go ahead. Okay, looks like there isn't anyone there. Now we'll just call out, there's another call out from the Tube of Views. We have Bob, VK2FKOM. He's a Newcastleian. He's just coming through and listening on a small handheld with an external antenna. Sorry, won't be able to make the repeater. Hey, that's not a problem at all. I guess coming through and taking the time to go through and check in and saying hello, no matter what way it is definitely always appreciated. Okay, we are back down there to Alan. So, Alan, what we'll do is this is going to be a very, very quick net. What I might do, if you guys don't mind, is I might just, if it's okay, is just press the pause button just for a quick second. And what I'm going to go through and do is just quickly run outside and grab my DMR radio. I will be back in about 1 minute or so. VK2 NMZ for the Central Coast Amateur Radio Club. So there might be good, at this time there might be a good opportunity if you needed to go through and grab a drink, go to the loo or whatever. I'll be back.
VK2RAG, Summersby.
VK2AOR listening. Brad, just put everything on hold for a minute while he goes out to grab a radio. How do you think, Alan?
Alrighty, VK2 AOR, VK2 NMZ, mate. Thank you for coming along. I'll come back to finding the radio. It looks like the house has gone off and eaten it somewhere. So I'll go through and I'll do that after the net. Alrighty, so since we'll go back down, we'll head on down there to, I've forgotten now. I think we'll back to Alan, VK2 MG, VK2 NMZ.
Let you go over to Bob since you went on the entire end of it there. Yeah, I kind of just said everything, almost everything I wanted to say last round. Although, given the interest that you showed in that link dipole that I had up the other day, I'm thinking maybe I ought to sit down and I'll write up a blog on how I put it together and what I used and stuff like that. Might be useful. What do you think?
100%. If you went through and did that, I would be all over that to go through. I would be 100% interested in going off and building something like that. So I'm sure there may be a few other people out there who might, within the club, who may have an interest in going through and getting one built as well, if they wish to go off and do a few soda activities. But seeing your setup and how incredibly simple it was and how effective it was is something that definitely has my interest.
I just basically took the ideas from what a whole lot of other people did and went around and looked for different components for using to make it that I thought would be lighter and easier to do it with. So using things like tent slides and little green almost Anderson style connectors and things like that, some light rope, and I'll do that up and talk about the evolution of that particular antenna. I think it'd be a bit interesting anyway. I did start doing right up on that 10 metre vertical, but I never got a response from the gentleman who did the original design about where he got his percentages from. Maybe I ought to chase him again. It works fine. I'm not sure exactly why it works with the sizes I've got on it. It'd be really nice to understand that, but yeah. Anyway, VK2 NMZ, VK2 MG.
VK2 MG, VK2 NMZ. So definitely, I think probably go through, reach out to Karen. Karen is the lecture coordinator for the club, and she may be able to go through and work with you or work on some time that we'll go through and we'll work for everybody to work out some form of little presentation. Alrighty, so if that was pretty much everything, I'll hand the floor over to Bob there, since he did go through and check in, and then I'll move down there to Ian. So we have played around with the order a little bit, but that's okay. Bob, VK2 AOR and VK2 NMZ, mate, the floor is yours.
K2 NMZ, VK2 AOR. Thanks, Brad. And I'm not sure if everyone knows, my mum passed away on Sunday, so been a bit busy this week getting funeral directors and flowers and a wake organised, and so and others are doing other things, so it's all coming together. So that's about my lot at the moment. I'm hoping to go to the repeater committee meeting on Saturday, so anyone that's interested in the repeaters might like to come along and attend. That's about it for me at the moment. I just got some more messages to attend to, so I'll be listening on the side. VK2 NMZ, VK2 AOR.
VK2 AOR, VK2 NMZ. Mate, I'm sorry to hear. I remember we were having a bit of a discussion on on Saturday, but I'm sorry to hear that it's come through and happened so quickly. And I'm sure many other people in the club will go through and pass on their condolences and their wishes for you and your family. But yeah, I'll be there on the Saturday to come through and have a chat about things, and that's definitely an element that myself I do have an interest in, and that I do want to go through and learn more about. So I think a lot of people out there, they know that there is a repeater, and you put your voice into the microphone, magic happens, and your voice comes out the other side. So being able to have that bit more of an in-depth understanding is definitely going to be very beneficial for me. All right, now, okay, so just as a bit of a thing there for Jesse, I've just turned my Pi Star on, and I've just gone off and I've updated it. So it's the dashboard was January. So it's yeah. Hopefully it'll run a bit better now, and a little bit happier. I'll go off and I'll have to get that talk group programmed in. I do have 91 on there, which is worldwide. If I do end up having issues of getting it programmed in. But anyways, we'll come to that when at the end of the net. Okay, let's head down the list there to Ian, VK2 HDZ and VK2 NMZ.
VK2 NMZ, both. I'd just like to change to another antenna on a second, just hold a second.
VK2 HDZ, mate. Your audio is definitely a lot quieter, and there's quite a bit more noise coming through.
Yeah, essentially, I had a lot of background noise. I think I found where it was as far as radiation, but I took the other come up with a test. I was only just pipe it up the ground and taking it a few minutes.
Yeah, unfortunately, Ian, I didn't go through and make out much of that. It was very very muffled. Did you want to give that another go?
Yeah, I'm back on the main radio now. Yes, I had some background noise radiating that was causing RAG to actually have a lot of hiss and mumble in the background. and I just set up a temporary antenna to see if it was any different. I think I found the source.
Good, good. If there's issues, it's always DNS. And I'm sure Alan's probably there having a bit of a giggle at that and shaking his head. Hopefully, the source that you have found isn't too complex and would come through and turn out to be an easy fix for you. All right. So we have. Was there anything else there that you wanted to jump in and add there, Ian, before we move on?
VK2RAG, Timothy.
I don't know what that was.
Okay. I was just asking if there was anything else that you had that you wanted to jump in before we move on.
Yes, I had a sound like somebody was trying to get in on the other end here for a second, so I gave it a chance. My main trouble is a noisy Wi-Fi extender.
Could it? That's going to be an interesting one. Whether it's the power supply or what it could, or what else it could be. That's going to be an interesting one to go through and suss out and see and work out the actual cause of the noise. Interesting. I know. I'm pretty sure my house is going to be full of an array of noise generating devices. So it's going to be a fun task once I get everything properly set up in the house, and then I can start RF hunting. Alrighty, mate. That's all good. If there wasn't much else there, I'll do a final call out there to see if there was anybody else there that did wish to join tonight. So this is Brad, VK2 NMZ for the Central Coast Amateur Radio Club 2 meter net. We're up to round 3 and we're only half an hour in. We need more players here. If there is anyone out there, please go ahead now.
VK2 AOR back, bit of a lull here in messages going backwards and forwards, so I'll join the queue again. VK2 NMZ, VK2 AOR.
VK2 AOR, VK2 NMZ. So we've gone down. We're at the very bottom of the list. So what I'll do is I'll do one more loop, and then I think we'll go through and we'll call it for the evening. So we'll head back up the top there to Dave, VK2 KFU, VK2 NMZ. VK2 NMZ. Oops, sorry there, mate. I chopped over the top of you. Give that one another crack, please. Okay, well, my apologies if I am talking over the top. Dave, I think I heard the very tail end of your voice. I was going over the top. Did you just want to give that another go, please, if you can? If anyone else can check, does myself and Dave just have very, very bad timing and we're going over the top of each other? Can someone just come back and confirm, please? Alrighty, that's all good. My bad. All right, Dave, VK2 KFU. The floor is yours. Alrighty, so it seems to be all quiet there from Dave, so we'll head down the list there. We'll go to, this will be we'll call this the last round for the evening. So Alan, VK2 MG, VK2 NMZ. I think Bob might have a bit of an interest in what you were talking about just before with your antenna.
VK2 NMZ, VK2 MG. Yeah, I'm just wondering if Dave's lost the Sun 91.5 Hz tone there, because I'm only hearing that phasing when you're actually transmitting, Brad. He's not opening up repeater at other times. Yeah, I don't know about doing a preso, but I guess we could see what sort of material I can get together. Bob, condolences to you and your family, mate. I know it's obviously coming, but it's always a shock when it happens. I was actually looking through the club videos the other day because I was kind of hoping to see some of the field day ones up yet. Then I guess they're not done post-production yet. And I had a look at your Ballon one. Well, I posted a question on it, but I'm not sure if it's gone back there yet. Maybe more a question I noticed than a question to be answered now. You showed all the stuff about how to test the Ballon and what it looked like when it was good. It'd be interesting to actually hear some discussion on when it isn't good, what it looks like, and what we should be doing about it. Maybe that's something for the future. VK2 NMZ, VK2 MG.
VK2 MG and VK2 NMZ. That's odd. I didn't get any sort of notification for any questions being posted, but I'll have to go off and see that and field it through. Yeah, some of the videos from the lectures from the field day, they were going to go through and be released. There was a bit of a period of time from after the field day that they were going to come in and be added. This just gives a bit of time just for some post-production and preparation and all that sort of stuff, just to make sure that it is all good. Bob, I'll hand it over to you if you'd like to see if you wanted to go off and answer Alan's question. VK2 AOR, VK2 NMZ.
The VK2 NMZ, VK2 AOR. Yeah, the lecture was a bit of a put together in a hurry, and excuse me a sec. And I'd been with my mother that morning and left about 1:30 to come back to the club to do the lecture, and things were running a bit late, and we put a dipole up to test it on air with an 817, and just testing with the antenna analyzer, it didn't look good. And I know the measurements were right for the antenna, but I suspect it was where we had it. And what we talked about doing with Henrik was to do a second one and explore things a little bit further. With the one-to-one balance, you could pretty much check it out with an ohm meter to see that you've got continuity and no short between the turns. And from previous experience, you've got no continuity through the device, then it'll be an open circuit. And when the antenna analyzer is used in the open circuit mode, it shows nothing. We've discovered that by the wrong connector into the end connector, and it spread the fingers in the connection, and then you've got an open circuit. And when that happens, you get no response, and you think, oh, the thing's not working. Well, it is. It's showing you that you've got an open circuit. I'll just dekey for a moment. The other thing was that I didn't have a 4-to-1 balance to test, and that's a bit more a bit different in that it shows a higher resistance values and uses higher resistance values, generally about 200 ohms, and so I haven't actually got to the point of doing a partial short on a 4-to-1 balance to see what the result is. But I'm sure if it's got a fault in it, it will show somewhere between 0 and 200 ohms, but not 200 ohms. So the object of testing it is to see that we've got 200 ohms of impedance, and that the reactive component should be 0 on the resistors. So if you've got a fault in it, I'd imagine that is going to change quite dramatically. So a little bit of testing to do, Alan, to see what the other results are, but it certainly showed with the 1-to-1 balance that you have 50 ohms and basically 0 ohms on the reactance reading. When you use these antenna analyzers, you use the figures that are on the screen, not the meter readings. So the LCD screen figures are the accurate ones. Hope that's answered the question there, Alan, and I'll put back to Brad. VK2 NMZ, VK2 AOR.
VK2 RAG, Timothy.
VK2 AOR, VK2 NMZ. I hope that does go through and does definitely answer your question there that you did have, Alan. I'll pass it over to you for a moment just for a response. VK2MG, VK2NMZ.
I think it's a good start, Bob. I think we're very fascinated to actually see the second part of that lecture. I was interested in things like what happens if you don't read your 50 ohms there where you expect to and the like, and you touched on that in your answer. But it's a fascinating topic, and I really would like to see the other half of that when you get time to do it. Because I've got one of the Shortcom SA160 analyzers, and it looks like I can do those sort of readings on that as well. And I'm getting some very interesting readings on the 40-meter dipole I've got up at the moment. It's got a balun on it that I don't think I quite round properly, but it's got some very interesting SWR chart on it, which I might post at some time. But yeah, I will definitely be very interested in seeing that. It's a very interesting topic. VK2NMZ, VK2MG.
VK2MG, VK2NMZ. Fantastic, Alan. I'm glad you came through and you did have one of the questions there answered. Alright, so what I'll do is I'll go head over there to Ian just to see if there was anything else there that you did want to go through and jump in before we go off and get this closed off. VK2HDZ, VK2NMZ.
VK2NMZ, VK2HDZ. Just saying congratulations to Bob. It was a good little lecture. We use carbon resistors. I speak from experience because the metal film resistors act as a nice inductor and they can throw the readings right out. So definitely old carbon resistors are the way to go.
VK2 AOR.
VK2 AOR, VK2 NMZ, mate, of course.
Brad, and g'day, Ian. Yeah, I guess carbon resistors would be the ideal. My experience was just the general run-of-the-mill resistors from CCARC. And whoops, sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Anyway, I think if they were wire wound, they would certainly be a lot different. But I think they are made of carbon, those resistors, and they're cut to a certain size, and I'm pretty sure that seem to work quite well. The result was that with the two 25 ohm resistors across the output, it showed 50 ohms or 52 ohms actually for the impedance, and it showed the reactance at 0 or 1, which was really encouraging, because in the manual, when you read through the manual, it tells you that it's hooked up to a live antenna to expect probably a reading of 6 or 7 ohms as the minimum reading you will get on a resonant antenna. So it shows that the resistors were not reactive in any way. So that was good, Ian. Yeah, I guess if you can get a hold of some old carbon resistors, that would be a great way to go. Anyway, we'll do further testing and probably have more information on the next lecture on that in that area. Yeah, I got to say I'm not an expert at it either. I'm just going through the learning stages of practical applications of these things. So basically, we often just stick it up and give it a go and see how it goes without sort of delving into the finer side of it. Okay, thanks, Brad. Back to you. VK2 NMZ, VK2 AOR.
VK2 AOR, VK2 NMZ. That is all good there, Bob. There's not a problemo at all. Alrighty, so now we have gone through and we have jumped down to the very bottom of the list for the third time, which is we go through and we aim for 3 rounds. I will go through and just do one final call out to see if there was anybody else out there that did wish to go through and join the net tonight. Please go ahead.
VK2 EWI.
VK2 EWI, was that?
Roger, VK2 Echo Whiskey India, Jim. Just wanted to say hello and give my condolences to Bob. That's all. Over.
Oh, okay, thank you very much for that, Jim. Bob, would you like to respond there at all? Or VK2 AOR, VK2 NMZ?
Sorry, I short-circuited the system and jumped in there to thank Jim for his best wishes, and also to everyone else that has extended their wishes to, their thoughts, and it's just a sad time in our lives, but the sun will still come up tomorrow, so we look forward to that. Anyway, VK2 NMZ, VK2 AOR.
VK2 AOR, VK2 NMZ. Well, thank you very much for that, Bob. That's absolutely much appreciated, and I guess on behalf of everybody here, we do give our condolences. All right, so we have gone through. I'll do a final call out there for Dave just to see if he is around before I close this net off. VK2 KFU, VK2 NMZ. Alrighty, no answer there from Dave. Okay, so we have gone through and we have managed to punch through this net very quickly in just under 50 minutes. I'm going to go through, once I find my handheld radio, it is somewhere, I am going to jump onto Brandmeister and go into talk group 31158, which is where Jesse is hanging out, WH6AV. And just the other question there for Robert, I know I did put a comment there, but yeah, IRLP and Echo Link, it is in the works. It is very, very close to being working. There's just a few little bugs to go through and work out. So yeah, so Brandmeister 31158 is I'll be in there soon after the net to have a chat. And if anybody else out there did have a DMR radio, or can go through and do cross mode on their radio to DMR, you're most definitely more than welcome to drop in and say hello. So once again, this is Brad, VK2 NMZ for the Central Coast Amateur Radio Club Thursday night weekly net. I would say thank you for everyone that did go through and come along this evening, and you go through and take the time to check in. One final thing is there was a message there from another message from Al, which said hi again. Maybe someone may have Ed's email in Germany. I don't know his call, but he may be enticed to come on the net one evening. He was involved with the club for a good while. Well, Alan, he absolutely was, and that's definitely something that I'd love to be able to see once we get some of the other modes working on the repeaters. I'll just unkey for a quick second.
VK2RAG, Somerset.
And we're back. Okay, so the time here is 8:49 p.m. or 20:49 here, and I'm going to be closing this Thursday night net off and returning the repeater back to general use. And thank you to our media of socials for once again on the Book of Face and the Tube of Views for coming along and checking in and saying hello. I will, if there is anyone out there, we can head over and have a chat on talk group 31158 in Brandmeister. This is VK2 NMZ going clear of the frequency. 7-3 all, and have a good night. Bye-bye.
VK2 Kilo 45 uniform.
VK2 KFU, VK2 NMZ, you're back.
Yes, I had the impression that my last few overs weren't carrier without modulation or what.
That's not a problemo there at all, Dave. Okay, well, we're winding up the net, or the net has already gone. The net has gone through and wound up. Mate, was there anything that you wanted to jump in for the people that still may be listening?
Yeah, okay, at the moment I'm using the standby 2 meter reach. It appears the primary is failed again in the microphone department. So all I wanted to say was, well, excuse me, was email to pubsd@ccarc.org.au. If you like news on the broadcast by July 12 noon tomorrow.
And that is absolutely right for that call out. If there was anybody out there, as Dave said, if there was anything that you did wish to go through and have added on to the national broadcast, For our international friends that are listening, you can head over to arnsw.org.au, and you'll be able to go through and listen to that live broadcast as well. Alrighty, Dave, so thank you very much, mate. That is greatly appreciated that you've been able to go through and drop in. And I'm going to disappear again for a second time and move over into DMR land. Brandmeister Talk Group 31158. Once again, 7-3 all, and have yourself a good night, and we'll catch you all later. Bye-bye.